April 2nd, 1931. Mitsubishi Yard, Yokohama. The champagne bottle shatters against the hull. Workers cheer as the vessel slides down the ways into Tokyo Bay, but the men in naval uniforms stand silent. They know what they're watching, a ship that shouldn't exist. Vice Admiral Yamamoto Izuke adjusts his cap against the harbor wind. His eyes follow the light carrier as tugboats guide her toward the fitting-out pier. Ryūjō, the prancing dragon. 590 feet of carefully calculated defiance. 10,000 tons, an aide murmurs beside him. The Washington Treaty specifies 8,000 metric tons, Yamamoto interrupts. His voice is flat. Standard displacement. The treaty defines an aircraft carrier as any vessel exceeding 10,000 long tons designed to carry aircraft. He pauses. Ryūjō is not an aircraft carrier, not according to the Americans at least, not yet. The age shifts uncomfortably. Everyone in the yard knows the truth. The planning began in 1926, long before the London Conference that closed their loophole. By the time Article 3 was added in 1930, the clause that would have prevented this ship's existence, Ryūjō was already laid down. November 26, 1929. The Imperial Navy had moved quickly, too quickly for the treaty makers. Yamamoto watches the vessel settle in the water. Her freeboard sits dangerously low, a single hangar deck to keep weight minimal. No armor plating except around magazines and machinery. She looks wrong, unbalanced, like a ship built to defy physics as much as international law. May 9, 1933, Kure Naval Base. Captain Toshio Matsunaga stands on Ryūjō's bridge, or what passes for one. The greenhouse, his crew calls it. A glassed-in structure tucked beneath the forward lip of the flight deck. 66 feet, 8 inches of beam, offering precious little stability. The ship rolls in gentle harbor swells. Matsunaga grips the railing. "She's top-heavy, Captain," Lieutenant Hayashi states what everyone already knows, even with Sperry stabilizers. The specifications changed, Matsunaga cuts him off. Not an excuse, a fact. Originally designed for 24 aircraft, 9 Mitsubishi B-1M2 torpedo bombers, 3 A-1N1 fighters, plus spares. Then, before commission, the Navy demanded 48 aircraft, double capacity, which required a second hangar stacked on top of the first. The structural engineers protested. The displacement calculations had no margin for additional weight that high above the waterline. But the Empire needed carriers. The Washington Treaty restricted construction to vessels under 10,000 long tons, and the London Treaty closed the loophole for future builds. Ryūjō would be the only light carrier of her class. She had to carry as many aircraft as possible. Matsunaga watches sailors secure lines on the deck. The complement numbers 600 officers and enlisted men, though the ship wasn't designed for that many either. Every addition compounds the instability. More men, more aircraft, more fuel, more ammunition, all piled onto a narrow beam and unarmored hull designed to barely qualify as a warship. The Admiral's words echo in his memory. "Make her work, Captain. The Empire is counting on it." September 26, 1935, Northwest Pacific, 40 miles east of Honshu. The typhoon comes without adequate notice to prepare. Ryūjō's bow plunges into a wave that towers over her low forecastle. Green water crashes across the flight deck. The ship shudders, rolling 30 degrees to port, then snapping back with violent force. In the greenhouse bridge, Captain Ichiro Ono braces against the navigation table. Charts slide across the surface. Behind him, the helmsman fights the wheel as the rudder struggles against the sea. "All compartments report flooding, sir." The communications officer's voice cracks. He's young. This is his first storm. It's everyone's first storm like this. Another wave. Ryūjō rolls deeper, 35 degrees. Somewhere below, unsecured equipment breaks loose. The sound of metal tearing reaches the bridge. Ono's mind races through the ship's architecture. Single hangar, no armor, shallow bulges added during the 1934 refit after the Tomozur torpedo boat capsized. That incident changed everything. The Navy realized its new generation of vessels was dangerously unstable. Ryūjō received ballast, keel strengthening, torpedo bulges, modifications intended to fix design flaws built into her from the first rivet. Not enough modifications. The storm batters the Fourth Fleet for 6 hours. When it passes, Ryūjō lists 3 degrees to starboard. Her bridge structure, the greenhouse that seemed clever on blueprints, is cracked along support beams. Water infiltrated spaces that were supposed to remain dry. She limps to Kure Naval Yard trailing oil. Ono stands on the damaged bridge, watching the coast appear through clearing weather. They survived. Barely. The prancing dragon proved she could take punishment, but the price is visible in every twisted frame. August 16, 1937, East China Sea, 200 miles offshore. The air reeks of aviation fuel and oil. Flight deck crews swarm around 15 Aichi D-1A1 dive bombers, loading ordnance beneath their bellies. Behind them, 12 Nakajima A4N1 fighters wait with propellers already spinning. Captain Katsuo Abe watches from the repaired bridge. His orders are explicit. Neutralize the Chinese airfield at Hyaking, northwest of Shanghai. The Second Sino-Japanese War is 3 days old. The Empire needs air superiority before ground forces push into the city. First wave ready for launch, Captain. The air boss's voice through the speaking tube is steady, professional. Abe gives the order. Engines roar. One by one, the bombers thunder down Ryūjō's mile-long flight deck and claw into humid morning air. The fighters follow in tight formation.
Below deck, Lieutenant Commander Takahashi monitors radio chatter in the operations room. The strike package forms up at 8,000 feet, then turns west toward the coast. 15 minutes pass. 20. Contact. Chinese fighters intercepting our formation. Takahashi listens as pilots report engagement with Curtiss Hawk 3s. The American-made biplanes are nimble, but the Japanese pilots trained for this. Trained specifically for carrier-based combat that most naval air forces in 1937 haven't mastered. The radios crackle with quick bursts. Hawk down, confirming second enemy destroyed. By the time the strike returns 3 hours later, 2 Chinese aircraft are confirmed destroyed. The airfield at Hyaking is burning. Ryūjō's aircraft sustained no losses. Abe reviews the mission report that evening. Successful. Textbook execution. But Shanghai is just beginning. The war has months to run. Years, perhaps. March 1st, 1942. Sunda Strait, 60 miles south of Java. The destroyer USS Pope runs south at flank speed. Behind her, the entire invasion fleet of the Dutch East Indies lies in Japanese hands. She's alone now. HMS Exeter and HMS Encounter already rest on the bottom. The Second Battle of the Java Sea ended with Allied defeat so complete that historians will debate whether to call it a battle at all. Pope's captain, Commander Wellings Bert Exton, scans the horizon through binoculars. Clear morning. No clouds to hide in, no friendly ships to join, just open ocean and fuel tanks running toward empty. Aircraft, bearing 340. 6 Nakajima B-5N Kate torpedo bombers drop from 5,000 feet. They carry Ryūjō's insignia, the carrier operating 80 miles north with cruisers Ashigara and Miyoko. Pope's anti-aircraft guns open fire. 5-inch shells burst in black flowers around the diving bombers, but they press through. The lead Kate drops its payload at 500 feet, not a torpedo, but a 250-kilogram bomb. It misses by 30 yards. The second and third bombs also miss. Exton orders hard to starboard. The destroyer heels violently, wake boiling white. The fourth bomb strikes aft, near the Yi gun depth charge racks. The explosion tears through Pope's thin destroyer plating like paper. Fire erupts from the engine room. Black smoke pours from ventilation shafts. Losing steam pressure, sir. Engineering reports flooding. The fifth bomb hits amidships. The blast lifts the destroyer's stern out of the water. When it crashes back down, Pope's keel is broken. Exton knows immediately. The ship is finished. All hands abandon ship. Ryūjō's aircraft circle overhead as lifeboats launch. Later, Ashigara will arrive to finish Pope with gunfire, but the carrier's bombers did the killing work. April 6, 1942, Bay of Bengal, 300 miles east of India. Dawn breaks over water the color of hammered steel. Ryūjō steams northeast with cruiser Yura and destroyer Yugiri in her wake. Vice Admiral Ozawa Jisaburo commands this detached force, separate from Admiral Nagumo's main carrier strike hitting Ceylon. Their targets are smaller, less defended, but strategically vital. Lieutenant Nakamura leads 9 A6M-2 fighters off Ryūjō's deck at 05:45 hours. Behind him, 12 B-5N Kates carry 250-kilogram bombs instead of torpedoes. The mission is shore bombardment. Hit the minor ports of Kokonada and Visakhapatnam. Disrupt British merchant shipping. Spread panic along India's eastern coast. The Zeros reach Kokonada first. The town appears through morning haze, its small harbor crowded with fishing vessels and 2 coastal freighters. No air defenses, no warning. Nakamura signals the attack. The Kates drop their payloads in level flight at 3,000 feet. Bombs walk across the harbor in precise spacing, detonating wharves and warehouses. One freighter takes a direct hit and begins listing immediately. The second tries to run for open water, but 3 bombs bracket her hull. She's dead in the water within minutes. No enemy fighters appear. No anti-aircraft fire beyond scattered rifle shots. 2 hours later, the strike repeats at Visakhapatnam. 4 more vessels claimed damaged or sunk, port facilities ablaze. Ryūjō's aircraft returned by noon with trivial losses. 1-0 damaged by ground fire, its pilot executing a controlled water landing near the destroyer. Yugiri recovers the pilot within 20 minutes. That afternoon, Ryūjō's surface escorts also engaged targets of opportunity, small coastal freighters traveling independently. Urahim Yugiri claimed 3 vessels sunk by gunfire. The official report reads, "Successful disruption of enemy logistics, Allied resources diverted to coastal defense." But everyone knows the truth. These are easy targets, defenseless, the kind of raids that matter only at the margins of a war already tilting toward Japan's eventual ruin. June 3, 1942, 150 miles southwest of Dutch Harbor. The fog is everything. It wraps Ryūjō in gray wool so thick that lookouts can barely see the bow. Somewhere to the west, the Kido Butai, Nagumo's carrier striking force, approaches Midway Island, the operation that will break Japanese naval dominance or confirm it. Ryūjō's mission is diversion. Take Dutch Harbor. Make the Americans think the Aleutians are the target, pull their carriers north away from Midway. But the fog makes flying impossible. For 2 days, aircraft sit chained to the deck while weather socks in the entire region. Captain Tado Kato reviews meteorological reports in his cabin. Nothing promising. The Aleutians in June. Cold, wet, visibility near zero. Exactly the environment where Ryūjō's light displacement and marginal stability become liabilities. Every roll in heavy seas reminds him of the 4th Fleet incident 7 years ago. On June 3rd, the weather breaks momentarily. Launch strike immediately, Captain Tado orders. 6 Kates and 12 Zeros claw into clearing skies. They find Dutch harbor through scattered clouds, the American naval installation clustered around Unalaska Bay. Fuel tanks, barracks, seaplane hangars. The attack lasts 18 minutes. Bombs destroy 2 hangars and damage the barracks. American P-40 fighters scramble late, downing 2 Zeros before the Japanese withdraw into weather. The strike force returns with 4 aircraft damaged, 2 lost. Minimal impact on Dutch harbor, token damage that won't divert a single American carrier from Midway. But orders are orders. Kato receives word 2 days later. Midway was a disaster. Akagi, Keiga, Soryu, Hiryu all sunk. The Kido Butai shattered in a single day. The Aleutian operation suddenly becomes strategically meaningless, a successful diversion from a failed main assault. Ryūjō withdraws north, untouched. Lucky. For now. August 24th, 1942. 150 miles north of Guadalcanal. Rear Admiral Chuichi Hara stands in Ryūjō's operations room, studying the tactical plot. Somewhere south, the American carriers operate near the Solomon Islands. Intelligence suggests USS Enterprise and USS Saratoga, supported by battleship North Carolina and heavy cruisers Miyoko. The plan is simple. Ryūjō will detach from the main force with cruiser Tony and 2 destroyers, launch a strike on Henderson Field, Guadalcanal, draw American attention. When their carriers commit aircraft to intercept or counterattack, Admiral Nagumo's Shikoku and Zukaku, positioned 100 miles north, will hit them while they're vulnerable. Ryūjō is bait. At 12:55 hours, the launch begins. 6 B-5N Kates and 15 Zeros roar off the deck, bound for Henderson Field. The strike is light, too light to do significant damage, but it should be enough to provoke a response.
Captain Kodo watches the aircraft disappear into southern haze. Something feels wrong about this operation. Using a carrier as a lure, sending her aircraft on a mission designed to expose the ship herself. American search planes spotted bearing 185. The radio operator's voice is calm. Expected. At 14:40 hours, the strike force reaches Henderson Field. 9 Zeros strafe the airstrip while Kates drop 60-kilogram bombs. American Wildcats scramble, 10 fighters climbing fast. The dogfight spreads across 5,000 feet of airspace. Zeros down 3 Wildcats. The Japanese lose 6 aircraft in return. The battle report reaches Ryūjō 30 minutes later. Mission accomplished. Minimal losses. But the counterattack is already inbound. At 14:55 hours, radar, recently installed during Ryūjō's last refit, picks up contacts bearing 160. Range, 60 miles. Captain Kodo counts the blips. 30-plus aircraft. Far more than Ryūjō's air patrol can intercept. He turns to his executive officer. The man's face shows what they're both thinking. The trap just closed on them instead. August 24th, 1942. 15:03 hours. Eastern Solomons. The first wave appears at 14,000 feet. 31 Douglas SBD Dauntless dive bombers from USS Saratoga. No fighter escort. The range was too great. But they don't need escorts against a ship with Ryūjō's defenses. Captain Kodo orders hard to port, flank speed. The light carrier heels into the turn, her narrow 66-foot beam making every maneuver feel like a gamble with physics. Anti-aircraft guns open fire, Type 96 25mm triple mounts that were added during her final refit. The tracers arc toward the bombers in streams of light that look impressive, but lack the range or punch to stop what's coming. The Dauntlesses roll inverted at 10,000 feet. Dive brakes extend with metallic shrieks audible even over the guns. Lieutenant Nakamura, back aboard after returning from the Henderson Field strike, watches from the flight deck. He counts the bombers. Impossibly many. His fighter is chalked and chained. Fuel tanks empty. Useless. The first bomb misses by 50 feet to starboard. The second misses to port. The third hits. The explosion tears through Ryūjō's unarmored flight deck like it's made of rice paper. The bomb penetrates to the hangar, detonating among aircraft being serviced. Aviation fuel ignites instantly. Fire races through the hangar bay in seconds. Nakamura is thrown to the deck. When he looks up, flames pour from the elevator well. 2 more bombs hit in quick succession, both striking forward near the greenhouse bridge. The structure that survived the 1935 typhoon shatters under direct impact. Glass and metal spray across the deck in lethal fragments. Then, the torpedo. 8 Grumman TBF Avengers approach at wave-top height from the starboard quarter. Kodo, now commanding from the emergency station aft, sees them through smoke. He orders the helmsman hard to port, but Ryūjō is already listing from flooding caused by the bomb hits. The turn is sluggish, too slow. The first torpedo runs true. It strikes Ryūjō amidships, starboard side, directly into the poorly protected engineering spaces. The detonation is massive, 540 pounds of Torpex explosive tearing through thin plating and frames designed to minimize weight rather than absorb punishment. The engine room floods within seconds. Boiler rooms go dark as steam pressure drops to nothing. Ryūjō slows, then stops, dead in the water 150 miles from friendly support. Captain Kodo assesses the damage from reports flooding into the emergency station. Hangar bay burning out of control. Flight deck useless. Engineering spaces flooded. List increasing to 10 degrees and worsening every minute. The carrier designed to outsmart the Washington Naval Treaty, built light, built minimal, built to meet treaty definitions while maximizing combat capability, now pays for every shortcut, every compromise, every ton of armor left off the blueprints to save weight. Captain, list now 15 degrees. Flooding cannot be controlled. Kodo looks at the horizon tilting slowly to starboard. The decision makes itself. All hands abandon ship. The crew begins evacuating at 15:15 hours. Destroyer Amatsukaze approaches through smoke and debris, her crew preparing to recover survivors. Above, American B-17 bombers arrive and drop payloads with little effect. Ryūjō is already dying. The heavy bombers' ordnance merely hastens what the dive bombers and torpedo planes already accomplished. Lieutenant Nakamura jumps from the listing deck at 15:45 hours. The water is warm, oily. He swims away from the hull, glancing back once. Ryūjō capsizes at 17:55 hours. The list reaches 40 degrees, then 60 degrees, then simply rolls over, keel rising toward the sky. She hangs inverted for 90 seconds, long enough for men in the water to wonder if she might somehow right herself. She doesn't. The prancing dragon slides beneath the surface bow first, propellers still visible, then disappears into 2,000 fathoms of Pacific Ocean. 7 officers and 113 enlisted men go down with her. 14 returning aircraft, with nowhere to land, ditch in the ocean nearby. Some pilots survive. Most don't. Amatsukaze recovers 800 men, a testament to the crew's training and the destroyer's efficiency. But Ryūjō is gone. The only light carrier built to circumvent international treaty, the ship that exploited loopholes and defied maritime conventions, proves what engineers warned from the beginning. You can't cheat physics. You can only postpone the reckoning. In Tokyo, the Naval General Staff records her loss in clinical language. Light carrier Ryūjō, Battle of the Eastern Solomons, sunk by carrier aircraft. Total loss. No mention of design flaws, no reference to compromises made to fit treaty restrictions. Just one more ship on the growing list of vessels that won't return. The war has 36 months remaining. By the time it ends, Ryūjō will almost be forgotten, overshadowed by Midway's 4 carrier losses, by the sinking of Shokaku and Taiho in the Philippine Sea, by the slaughter of carriers at Leyte Gulf. But on this August evening in 1942, as the sun sets over the Solomons and survivors huddle on Amatsukaze's crowded deck, Ryūjō's loss feels enormous, personal. A ship they knew was flawed, that everyone joked about, that rolled in calm seas and terrified new crew members, but it was theirs, and now it's gone.